oftentimes I get comments to say, I wish I had your eye. You know, sometimes I wish I had other people's eyes as well. And I think the fact is that we can all see the potential in different things, and the more we practice, the more we can see potential in things. I mean, today I've got very despondent, and I came out with the idea of making a particular video. I had a script for it. You wouldn't believe it, would you? I had a script, or rather a notional script. That's more like it, isn't it? I stupidly came to a flat place with flat light, and instantly became dejected because of it. And I've been wandering around thinking, what the hell am I going to do? I've got to have another video for next week, and I can't keep driving around because it's expensive, and I've got to, you've got to keep feeding the algorithm, so I'm here.
Feed me.
And I'm doing something. And I've decided that it's going to be about finding compositions, finding things where perhaps you feel dejected, perhaps your plan didn't work, perhaps the light isn't right, perhaps it's flat like this and you didn't plan it, all kinds of things. This is about just keeping your eyes open and, just taking photos. I've walked around the area quite a bit. I know the area relatively well. I've never walked down this particular path or up the hill there. I've been around, just haven't seen much, looking for a landscape shot. When I run out of landscape opportunities, I always start looking for detail. If I can get myself out of that stupid mental state of, oh bloody hell, you've failed. Can't be bothered now, go home type of thing. If you're like that, let me know, because I'd hate to be the only one. Earlier on, when I was walking around where the boats are, just 100 yards or so that way, I remembered the shot that I'd got here a few weeks ago, which I thought was rather nice in the back of the camera, but on reviewing it later on, didn't work. It was too tight, so I thought I'll see whether that shot's still there, and it was. So I'll put that up now, and I'll talk over it, tell you basically how I spotted that.
Like so many compositions, it was spotted purely by colour contrast. There's a relative simplicity to the image. Shooting it with a low depth of field pulls the eye directly to the subject. Let me know in the comments what you think.
And then of course there's this gate. Now gates are wonderful things to take photos of. They're wonderful things to keep in compositions. Good quality 5-bar wooden gates like this are brilliant. Don't much like the metal galvanised things, but things like this are really worth exploring. And this one is absolutely no exception, because right down there's a chain and a lock. What really works for the gate and the chain and the lock is the textures and the colours. You can. I mean, we're not talking about bright colours here. We're talking about just kind of dull, muted colours. But the way that the texture works with those is absolutely sublime. Just the gate itself is wonderful, but combining it with the texture of the metal and the brass and the steel of the lock where it's all weathered and rusted, it's really very nice. Now, of course, there is a number of ways of shooting this. In actual fact, I think there are infinite ways of shooting this. I can do a big wide shot from a little bit further back and get the gate and the lock and the chain. I can focus in on the chain and the lock and get close to that. Lots of opportunities there. One of the things I've noticed that is a problem though is the fact that I've got such a wide gamut of bright and dark. If I'm shooting in this direction, there's literally no definition in the sky over there, and if I'm exposing for the lock, the sky is just completely white out, and there's just nothing left of it, which of course causes a problem, because literally there's hardly anything other than kind of just white sky looking through the gate at these kind of angles. So if I'm going to shoot in that kind of direction, whilst there's a little bit of definition there, the thing I've really got to be very careful of is the exposure, or probably bracketing the exposure. So when I've got views through the gate, at least I've got some texture behind it in order to kind of take the eye away from the fact that it's just a bright nothingness. Either that or just don't shoot in that direction at all. But that's a little bit more awkward. Another option, of course, is to just intentionally shoot it black and white and work with the fact that there's just brightness behind it, because we can play with that in post to completely take the eye away from it if necessary and really process the backside out of it. One of the benefits of kind of just dawdling around in situations like this is eventually perhaps the sun will come out and give you more interesting light. Now, I'm not saying that this is a fantastic landscape. It isn't, but it could be. Or rather, it could be where you are. I'm not saying that I'm likely to shoot this, but there's some interesting cloud up there now, and if there was something in the foreground to shoot, then that might be interesting. It might work. It's all about just, I suppose, not giving up. And I was ready to give up. I was deflated. I was going to get back in the car. But there's a YouTuber. In actual fact, I think to call him a YouTuber is very unfair. He doesn't do a great deal of YouTube, but he's a good photographer. He's quite local to me. One day I hope I might get out with him, because he's an absolute marvel at taking situations kind of like this and finding a shot. I don't understand how he does it. So you guys would turn around to me and say, I wish I had your eye. I wish I had his eye. His name is John Gibbs. I'll provide a link to his YouTube channel down below. And John, come out with me sometime and show me how the hell you do it, please. Light changes everything, doesn't it? Earlier on, when this was just flat, there was kind of nothing here. This is the boat that I shot earlier and spoke about and showed you. I walked through here God knows how many times, and it's absolutely nothing without the light. But there's this dinghy here, and what's attracted me to it is the way the light's hitting it, the way the shadows are on it, the way the grasses are dancing around. There's a real nice shot in this now, and I should stop gassing and get it before the sun over there finds another cloud to disappear behind. On the back of the camera, that looks so good because that's so bright, the sky and everything's so dark, and the light is really picking up on all of these masts around here. It looks like a great little shot. In fact, they all look like good little shots. I'm not sure which one you're going to see yet, so fingers crossed. I can't cross that finger. It doesn't work. I never realised I couldn't do that. I said a few minutes ago the light is everything, and it absolutely is. I've got no footage of me shooting this scene here, because if I had have done, I definitely wouldn't have got it, and I don't even know that I do have it at the moment. But if you can see the potential in what we have behind, wonderful. If you can't, I'll tell you. Colour contrast with this yellow grab buoy on the sand here. I rarely get down here when the tide is so far out as this to actually walk down here. I very rarely get here before beyond the kind of mud stage. So yeah, anyway, I'll digress. And in the background we've got Misty, kind of beached up there, giving you an indication of just how high up the tide comes. In actual fact, if you go back a few weeks to the video that I'm linking up here, you'll see exactly how high the tide comes, because if you can see the bank running along there, roughly where those people are, and the dots to you I'm sure, is where I was standing getting very, very wet taking photographs of the wreck. So watch that video, you'll enjoy that, probably. I don't know. If you enjoy my stuff normally, you'll enjoy that. So the challenge with getting Misty and this grab buoy here is that we have something like 1,000 miles of gap between, let me get down here, something like 1,000 miles between the buoy here and the boat behind, and the only way of closing that gap is to get stupidly low. The problem with getting stupidly low is that actually the lower you get, the less of Misty you see. So trade-offs. It's probably not a great shot. I was rushing because the sun, you can see behind me, has found some cloud to hide behind again, which has changed the feel of the scene entirely. But hopefully, fingers crossed, we've already discovered I can't do that, haven't we? Can I? I can't even do it with that hand. Weirdos. So you may be able to see that the light is beginning to come back. It's catching the side of my face here, and I'm hoping that it's going to start catching Misty again here. I've got a pretty simple composition of it. Let me show you. So as you can see, it's positioned just off centre with the, well, it's not really off centre, is it? The bow is just over that third line, and the stern is near the other third line. So I suppose it's pretty much centre, but because it's at a kind of 3/4 angle, it doesn't look quite centre. It does look as though it's more over to the right hand side, particularly as it's kind of looking that way, if you see what I mean. Now there's certainly some breeze here now, and the sky is moving pretty fast. When I say sky, obviously I mean cloud, and I am tempted to do a long exposure of it to capture movement in the cloud, to get some of that dynamic into it. What I don't want to do is start farsing about with filters only for the light to come in and then me having to think, oh Christ, what do I do now? That light is coming in quite nicely now, and I think I'll get that shot and we'll see how the light progresses. But what's really working is the fact that Misty is white, catching the light, and we've got a lovely bank of cloud up there, which I can see that this camera is picking up as well, and we've got some really good kind of dynamic range going on in the shot, some really good contrast. It's developing quite nicely. We'll just grab another shot there, and I'm letting the camera decide the exposure on this. F9 to make sure we're sharp, and no exposure compensation as such, so to speak. So the camera says that's where it should be. I'm letting it do that because that is putting the foreground down here rather nice and dark. It's providing a bit of colour and a bit of light and texture to it, particularly as that sun really begins to come in now. And it's just working. It's working really, really nicely. To me, this is the shot of the day. Just tenacity. I was ready to go home earlier. I stayed around. I found things to photograph, and is this what I came out? I don't know what I came out for. I came out to get a bit of exercise. I came out to get away from just sitting at home, and I came out to take photographs, and that's what I've done. It's helped me get out of well, I got myself into a mood while I was here, and I've now got out of it again. I think this is a nice photo. I hope you agree. And yeah, if you want to get some great photos, the only way you're going to do it is to get the hell out. Hope you enjoyed the shot. Well, of course, I found some more compositions. It's all about the light. Well, it's all about light and attitude as well as anything else. If it's dull, and Nikki suffers with this a lot, you know, if it's dull and flat and just bleh, let's turn this way, slightly better light, then you feel dull and flat and bleh. That's how I felt a little bit earlier. I don't quite know why I did. It was dull and flat and bleh when I came out. Just something went. Anyway, but the light changed that. Once that light came out, it changed everything, and all of a sudden I could find shots. The point is that my attitude changed. My photography changed. I was able to do more. I was able to find more compositions because they just presented themselves. The light made it happen, and yeah, thank God I didn't go home when I felt deflated earlier on and was sitting on a bench up on that hill up there. I'll show you a few more shots. The last one I've probably got for this evening is going to be the shot you're going to see of Doodle Doo here. There's been a few shots, so I've got a few to show you, and I'll leave one of the Doodle Doo shots to last. I'm not going to tell you how many Doodle Doo shots there are because you'll click off. So see, not just a pretty face. If you want to see more shots of Blakeney, check out this video up here and enjoy what's left here. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, give the video a like, subscribe if you haven't already. And I shouldn't say all of these things at once. I should learn not to say all of these things at once. There'll be prints available of all of the shots from this video. There'll be a link down below to my website and my email address. You can get in touch with me for that. I would appreciate any support you can give me. There's a buy me a coffee link. There's a super thanks link somewhere down below. And if you just can't spare any change to buy a poor photographer a coffee, that's absolutely fine. I appreciate you watching it this far. You take care. We'll see you on the next adventure.
Now, you may remember a little while back that I was talking about the possibility of getting a long exposure of Misty, but I wasn't certain of farting about. Well, I went back, the light changed, and I got this. Leave a comment down below to tell me whether you like the long exposure or the straight shot. Now, obviously there are subtle differences, angle and everything else, but just on principle, long exposure or straight. Leave a comment. Thanks for watching. See you soon.